In September 2019, the government of India announced a complete ban on e cigarettes. The government said that this was being done in order to prevent potential health risks to India's youth. Data, however, doesn't necessarily support this argument. For example, a single cigarette delivers around 7,000 chemicals to your lungs in addition to nicotine. These chemicals include compounds like arsenic, benzene, ammonia, and lead. In contrast, ENDS or e cigarettes deliver nicotine but cut out all other chemicals. So clearly, e cigarettes are not as harmful as ordinary cigarettes. Given this, does a ban seem like the best policy to deal with the potential harm that e cigarettes might cause? Let's take the case of two countries that took very different approaches to e cigarettes to try and understand what India could instead have done. The United States adopted what can be called the abstinence approach. In essence, the government adopted a paternalistic attitude, pointing out risky behavior and drastically changing incentives to make people stop using e cigarettes. For example, this can include bans with severe penalties for violations or imposing high sin taxes. The United Kingdom, on the other hand, adopted the harm reduction approach. This involves acknowledging that some people will always engage in harmful activities and that the government has little control over people's personal preferences. The aim under this approach is to reduce the harm by providing less risky alternatives. For example, regulating alcohol content in drinks, or providing sex education and condoms to teenagers in order to prevent sexually transmitted diseases or teenage pregnancies, or even mandating the use of helmets on motorbikes. Now, let's see what happened when both of these approaches were implemented. The Food and Drug Administration, FDA, in the United States originally classified e cigarettes as drug delivery systems and therefore deemed them illegal. A court case later, they were reclassified as tobacco products, which still have severe restrictions on promotions and advertisements. With these policy changes, when e cigarette companies could no longer market their products as safe alternatives to adult smokers, a new demographic was found. The funky flavors that e cigarettes come in, such as blueberry, mint, or mango, were especially attractive to the younger generation. The initial ban and the lack of regulation meant that the youth didn't stop with just nicotine vaping, but nicotine dissolved in water was replaced with marijuana dissolved in oils, which led to deaths in the United States, the unregulated oils being the deadly component. Unlike the United States, the United Kingdom's harm reduction approach led to proactive regulation of e cigarettes. This included checking the quality of the e cigarettes, regulating the flavors used, and imposing limits for their sale. And crucially, it limited the nicotine content to 20 milligrams per milliliter of nicotine in e liquids. No such limit exists in the United States, where it is not uncommon to find up to 54 milligrams per milliliter, which explains the much higher level of addiction there. The United Kingdom's approach has led to better overall results. Adult and youth smoking continues to decline, and e cigarettes have become the most popular quitting aid. As we mentioned earlier, India chose to ban e cigarettes completely. As with any other bans in India, whether it is single use plastic, alcohol, or porn, the market always finds a way. That way usually ends up harming the very people that the government is trying to save. In other words, evidence tells us that if the government wants to prevent potential health risks to India's youth, then a ban on e cigarettes is unlikely to be effective. That's our take on the e cigarette ban in India. What's yours? Let us know in the comments below. And if you like the video, do hit the like button and press the bell icon to watch more such videos.